Hello, in this lecture we'll talk about the structure of the great poem The Night in the Panther Skin. Actually, the poem consists of 1669 stanzas. Each stanza consists of 4 rhyming lines, and each line consists of 16 syllables. And actually, the poem is the structure of the poem. It is built according to the unique poetic form that is called shairi. And you have 2 types of shairi. Either it is a marali shairi, that is to say I shairi, or dabali shairi, that is to say low shairi. Okay, so in marali shairi, each line consists of 16 syllables, and in the marali shairi or I shairi, the lines are broken into 4 segments: 1, 2, 3, 4. Each segment consists of 4 syllables, so it is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. And we have a break after the second segment. While in the dabali shairi, the lines that consist of 16 syllables each also are broken into 4 segments, 1, 2, 3, 4, but the first segment consists of 5 syllables, the second segment consists of 3 syllables, then the third segment consists of 5 syllables, and finally the fourth segment consists of 3 syllables. So it is 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3, and we have also a break after the second segment. Here. Okay. So and we have another characteristic of the poem, that the poet repeats at least of the 3 letters of the last word in each line. Again, the poet repeats at least on 3 letters of the last word in each line. Okay, so I will give you a couple of examples in order to clarify all the new concepts here. So we'll start with stanza 802. But before we start with the examples, let's clarify 2 concepts. It is fast pace and slow pace. What is fast pace? When the pace of the plot is fast, then the rhyming, the structure of the 16 syllables will be according to the marali shairi, that is to say, it will be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and the rhyming will be on the last 2 syllables of the last word of in line. Repeat again. When the pace of the plot is fast, then the structure of the 16 syllables in each line will be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and the rhyming will be on the last two syllables of the last word in line. Okay, and what is the definition of fast pace? Actually, when the stanza talks about things that occurred during a long period of time, then the pace of the story is fast, and therefore the structure of the 16 syllables in each line will be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and the rhyming will be on the last two syllables of the last word in line. While if the pace of the plot is slow, so what is slow pace? Actually, if we have if the poet expresses the poet focuses on expressing emotions, we have the poet expresses emotions, or he focuses on expressing emotions, then the pace of the plot is slow. Another possibility is that we have metaphors. The stanza consists of metaphors, then the pace of the plot is also slow. And finally, if the poet quotes the words of some character from the poem, then the pace of the plot is also slow. Okay, so I repeat again that fast pace is when the stanza talks about things that happened during a long period of time, while slow pace, the pace of the stanza will be slow if the poet focuses on expressing emotions. The stanza describes emotions, or when the stanza consists of metaphors, or if the poet quotes the words of some character, then the pace of the plot is also slow. Okay, and when the pace of the plot is slow, then the structure it will be double sharing. The structure of the 16 syllables in each line will be 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3, and the rhyming will be on the last three syllables of the last word in each line. While if the pace of the plot is fast, then the structure of the 16 syllables in each line will be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and the rhyming will be on the last two syllables of the last word in line. Okay? So in the next step, I will present to you a couple of examples in order to clarify all the new concepts that I presented to you. We will start with stanza 802. Stanza 802 is from chapter 11 of the poem. Chapter 11 is about the testament of Oftandil to King Ostevan when he stole away. Actually, in this stanza 802, we have the poet quotes the things that Oftandil, that is the commander of the Arab armies, tells to King Ostevan before he goes to India to meet his friend Tariel. And as I already mentioned before, quoting things when the poet quotes the words of some character, then it will be automatically in the body shari, it is in slow pace, and therefore the structure of the 16 syllables in each line will be 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3, with a break after the second segment, and the rhyming will be on the last 3 syllables of the last word in each line. Okay? So in stanza 802, the commander of Tandil tells to King Rostam that if something terrible will happen to him during his journey to meet his friend Ariel, and he will die, and no one even can find his body, then he asks from King Rostam that King Rostam will mourn his death, and he also asks from the king that he will mention his name favorably. Okay? So I will read the stanza in the translation to English, then I will read it in the original language, in the Georgian language, and we will analyze the stanza 802. Okay, the stanza in the translation to English, stanza 802 is as follows. If fate, the destroyer of all, destroy me, an orphan I shall die, traveling unmourned by parent, nor will those who brought me up, nor the friend whom I trust enshroud me, then indeed will you, merciful tender heart, have pity on me. Okay, now I will read the stanza in the original language and we will analyze it. So, stanza 802 in the original language is as follows. Tu satsut roman damam hos, hovelta damam hobelman, raribi mokde raribat, verdami tiros shobelman, vegar shem sudron dazdilta da velsa misan dobelman, munchem itzalot frenman ve, gulman moskalem lobelman. So here, the first two words in line number 1 of stanza 802 are tu satsut roman. Tu consists of 1 syllable, satsut roman consists of 4 syllables. In total, those two words, tu satsut roman, consist of 5 syllables. Then the third word of line number 1 is da mam hos, it consists of 3 syllables. Then the next two words in line number 1 are ovelta damam. Ovelta damam. Ovelta consists of 3 syllables, damam consists of 2 syllables. In total, those two words consist of 5 syllables. And finally, obelman consists of 3 syllables. So in conclusion, you can say that line number 1 of stanza 802 is broken into 4 segments of 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 syllables. And the rhyming is on obelman. Obelman consists of 3 syllables. So the rhyming is on, we have obelman, 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 and obelman. Okay? And the poet repeats on the last 7 letters of the last word in each line. The last word of line number 1 is damam hobelman, and he repeats on obelman that consists of the following letters O, B, A, L, M, A, and N. So the poet repeats on the last 7 letters of the last word in each line. And the rhyming is on the 3 syllables of the last word in each line, that is to say obelman, 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 and obelman. Then in line number 2, the first two words of line number 2 are Raribi, Mogde. Raribi consists of 3 syllables and Mogde consists of 2 syllables. In total, the first two words of line number 2 consist of 5 syllables. Then we have the third word of line number 2 is Raribat. It consists of 3 syllables. And then we have the next two words of line number 2 of stanza 802 is Ver Damitiros. Ver consists of 1 syllable and Damitiros consists of 4 syllables. In total, those two words for Damitiros consist of 5 syllables. And finally, the last word of line number 2 is Shobelman. Shobelman consists of 3 syllables. So in conclusion, you can say that the structure of the 16 syllables in line number 2 of stanza 802 is 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 of the line is broken into 4 segments of 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 syllables, and the rhyming is on the last 3 syllables of the last word. The last word is Schobelman, and the rhyming is on Obelman, and the repetition is on the last 7 letters of the last word Schobelman. The last 7 letters of the last word Schobelman are O, B, A, L, M, A, and N. Okay, then in line number 3, the first two words of line number 3 is Verar, Shem, Sud, Ron. Verar consists of 2 syllables, Shem, Sud, Ron consists of 3 syllables. In total, those two words, Verar, Shem, Sud, Ron, consist of 5 syllables. Then we have the third word of line number 3 is Daz, Dil, Ta. It consists of 3 syllables. Then we have the next 3 words are Da, Verza, Misand. Da consists of 1 syllable, Verza consists of 2 syllables, and Misand consists of 2 syllables. So in total, we have 1 plus 2 plus 2 syllables. So the third segment is consists of line number 3 consists of 5 syllables. And finally, we have Obelman that consists of 3 syllables. So, in conclusion, we can say that line number 3 of stanza 802 is broken into 4 segments of 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 syllables. And the rhyming is on the last 3 syllables, that is to say, Obelman, and the repetition is on the last 7 letters of the last word. The last word is Misandobelman, and the repetition is on Obelman, that is to say, the repetition is on letters O, B, A, L, M, A, and N. And finally, we have line number 4. The first 2 words of line number 4 are Mun, Shemitzralos. Mun consists of 1 syllable, Shemitzralos consists of 4 syllables. In total, those the 2 words from Mun, Shemitzralos consist of 5 syllables. Then we have the third word of line number 4 in stanza 802 is Tquen, Man, Ve. It consists of 3 syllables. Then the next 2 words in line number 4 are Gulman, Motzale, Motzalem. Gulman consists of 2 syllables, Motzalem consists of 3 syllables. In total, the third segment of line number 4 consists of 5 syllables. And finally, we have Obelman that consists of 3 syllables. So in conclusion, you can say that line number 4 of stanza 802 is broken into 4 segments of 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 syllables. And the rhyming is on Obelman, the last 3 syllables. And the repetition is on the letters O, B, A, L, M, A, and N. So, in conclusion, you can say that stanza 802 is in the Bali Shairi in a slow pace. The structure of it is according to the Bali Shairi. It is slow pace. That is to say, the structure of the 16 syllables in each line, or each line is broken into 4 segments of 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 syllables. The rhyming is on the last 3 syllables of the last word in each line. That is to say, Obelman, 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 and Obelman. And the repetition is on the last 7 letters of the last word in each line. That is to say, the 7 letters are as follows: O, B, A, L, M, A, and N. Okay, so we finished with stanza 802. In the next step, I will present to you stanza 791. Stanza 791 is an aphorism about love. What is an aphorism? An aphorism is a concise statement that expresses truth, a general truth, or principle, or a sentiment. Okay, and stanza 791, as I already mentioned, it is an aphorism about love. In this great poem, The Night in the Panther Skin, we have more than 200 aphorisms, and usually whenever you have an aphorism in the stanza, it will be according to the Marali Shairi in a fast pace. That is to say, the structure of the 16 syllables in each line will be 5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. And the rhyming will be on the last 2 syllables of the last word in each line. Okay, but we have also exceptions. That is to say, we have aphorisms that they are in the Dabali Shari in a slow pace. That is to say, the structure of the 16 syllables on those aphorisms is 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3, and the rhyming is on the last 3 syllables of the last word in line. But here, stanza 791, it is not an exception, and therefore the structure of the 16 syllables in each line is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and the rhyming is on the last 2 syllables of the last word in line. So I read the stanza in the translation to English, then I read it in the original English, and we will analyze it. So stanza 791 in the translation to English is as follows: Thou hast read how the apostles write of love, how they speak of it, how they praise it. Now know thou it, and harmonize thy knowledge. Love exalteth us. This is as it were the tinkling burden of dear Son. If thou conceive not this, how can I convince ignorant men? Now I read the stanza in the original language and we will analyze it. Stanza 791 in the original language is as follows: Tzagi kitchav sirwar rusha mochi kulni ragwar zeren vititruyan vitakeben tzan snobani miaperen sirwar ruli agwa maglebs viteshwani amas jreren shenar jebchal ustableli katsni vitmsa sheva jeren. So, the first word of line number 1 of stanza 791 is Tzagi Kitchav. It consists of 4 syllables. Then the second word is Sir Wa Rul Sa. It also consists of 4 syllables. The third word of line number 1 of stanza 791 is Mochi Kulni. It also consists of 4 syllables. And finally, the last 2 words of line number 1 in stanza 791 is Ragwar Tzeren. Ragwar consists of 2 syllables. Tzeren also consists of 2 syllables. In total, the last 2 words of line number 1 consist of 4 syllables. So in conclusion, we can say that line number 1 is 791 is broken into 4 segments, so 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. That is to say, it is in a fast pace and Magali Shairi, and the rhyming is on the last 2 syllables of the last word in line. The last word of line number 1 is Eren, and the rhyming is on Eren. So it is Eren, 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 and Eren, and the repetition is also on Eren. Eren consists of 4 letters, as follows: A, R, A, and N. So the poet repeats on the last 4 letters of the last word in line in stanza 791. That is an aphorism about love. Okay. Then the first 2 words of line number 2 in stanza 791 are Vit, Itrian. Vit consists of 1 syllable, Itrian consists of 3 syllables. In total, those 2 words, Vit, Itrian, consist of 4 syllables. Then the third and the fourth word of line number 2 in stanza 791 is Vit, Akeben. In total, Vit consists of 1 syllable and Akeben consists of 3 syllables. In total, those 2 words, Vit, Akeben, consist of 4 syllables. Then the next 2 words of, in line number 2 are Tsan, Snobani. Tsan consists of 1 syllable, Snobani consists of 3 syllables. In total, those 2 words, Tsan, Snobani, consist of 3 syllables, 4 syllables. And finally, the last word of line number 2 is Mi, A, Peren. It consists of 4 syllables. So in conclusion, you can say that line number 2 of stanza 791 is broken into 4 segments of 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 syllables. And the rhyming is on the last 2 syllables of the last word. The last word is Mi, A, Peren. It consists of 4 syllables, and the rhyming is on the last 2 syllables, that is to say, Eren. And the repetition is on the last 4 letters of the last word Mi, A, Peren. The last word Mi, A, Peren consists of the last 4 letters of the last word Mi, A, Peren consist of the following letters: A, R, A, and N. Then we have in line number 3, the first word of line number 3 is Sir, Wa, Ru, Li. It consists of 4 syllables. Then the second word of line number 3 in stanza 791 is Ad, Wa, Mar, Lebs. It consists in total 4 syllables. Then the next 2 words of line number 3 are Vit, Ej, Wani. Vit consists of 1 syllable, Ej, Wani consists of 3 syllables. In total, those 2 words consist of 4 syllables. And finally, the last 2 words of line number 3 in stanza 791 is Amas, Jreren. Amas consists of 2 syllables, and Jreren consists also of 2 syllables. In total, those 2 words, Amas, Jreren, consist of 4 syllables. So in conclusion, we can say that line number 4 in stanza 709, number 3 in stanza 791 is broken into 4 segments, so 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 syllables. And the rhyming is on the last 2 syllables of the last word. The last word is Jreren, and the rhyming is on the last 2 syllables, that is to say, on Eren, and the repetition is on the last 4 letters of the last word Jreren. The last 4 letters of Jreren are as follows: A, R, A, and N. And finally, in line number 4, the first 4 words are Shen, Ar, Jer, Har. Each word consists of 1 syllable, therefore in total those 4 words, Shen, Ar, Jer, Har, consist of 4 syllables. Then The fifth word of line number 4 of stanza 791 is Ush Sav Lel Ni. It consists of total 4 syllables. Then we have the next two words. The next two words of line number 4 of stanza 791 are Katsni, Vitpsa. Katsni consists of 2 syllables and Vitpsa consists also of 2 syllables. In total, Katsni Vitpsa consists of 4 syllables. And finally, the last word of line number 4 is Sheva Jeren. Sheva Jeren consists of 4 syllables. So in conclusion, you can say that line number 4 of stanza 791 is broken into 4 segments, so 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 syllables, and the rhyming is on the last 2 syllables of the last word. The last word of line number 4 is Sheva Jeren. It consists of 4 syllables, and the rhyming is on the last 2 syllables of this word Sheva Jeren, that is to say on Eren. And the repetition is on the last 4 letters of the last word Sheva Jeren. That is to say, the repetition is on the letters A, R, A, and N. So in conclusion, you can say that stanza 791 is read according to the Marali Shairi. It is in a fast pace. That is to say, the structure of the 16 syllables in each line is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and the rhyming is on the last 2 syllables of the last word in each line. That is to say, Eren, 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 and Eren. And the repetition is on the last 4 letters of the last word in each line. That is to say, A, R, A, and N. Okay. In the next step, I will present to you stanza number 2. And we will see on how many letters of the last word the poet repeats. The rule is that the poet repeats at least on the last 3 letters of the last word in each line. So stanza number 2 is part of the prologue. The great poem, The Night in the Butter Skin, consists of prologue and epilogue. Prologue is the introduction to the poem. It is not part of the story. And here in stanza number 2, the poet praises God that created the universe, and he asks from God that God should protect him from the Satan, and also that God should lighten the burden of his sins. And finally, he asks from God that God will give him the longing of lovers lasting until death. So actually here the poet quotes the things that he tells to God, and whenever you have a quoting in the poem, then it is automatically will be in the Tabali Shairi. It is in a slow pace. Therefore, the structure of the 16 syllables in each line will be 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3, and the rhyming will be on the last 3 syllables of the last word in line. Okay. Now we read stanza number 2 in the translation to English. I read it then in the original language, and we will see on how many letters the poet repeats. On how many letters of the last word the poet repeats. So stanza number 2 in the translation to English is as follows. O one God, thou didst create the face of every form. Shield me, give me mastery to trample on Satan. Give me the longing of lovers lasting even unto death. Lightening of the burden of sins I must bear thither with me. Okay. Now we read the stanza in the original language. Stanza number 2 in the Georgian language is as follows. מרטו, ארטו, שן שטמן ספר אובליסה טניסה, שן דמי פרה, צדבה מצ דד קונבד מסה טניסה, מומץ מינג'ולטה סורבילי, סיק דידמה גסה טניסה, צוד וטה שסובו קבה, מונטנה צסה טניסה. As I already mentioned before, because we are talking here about that the poet quotes the things that it tells to God. When you have quoting things, then it will be automatically on the body shari in the slopest, and therefore the structure of the 16 syllables in each line here is 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3, and the rhyming will be on the last two syllables of the last word in line. The last word of line number 1 is Danisa, and actually the rhyming is on Danisa. That is to say, the rhyming is on all the word of the last word of line number 1, Tanisa. So the rhyming here is on Tanisa, 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 and Tanisa. That is the last 3 syllables of the last word in line. So in line number 1, the rhyming is on all the word of on the last word, that is Tanisa. While the last word in line number 2 is Satanisa, that is the Satan. The word Satanisa consists of 4 syllables, and the rhyming is on the last 3 syllables, that is to say Tanisa. And the last word of line number 3 of stanza 2 is Gasatanisa. The word Gasatanisa consists of 5 syllables, and therefore the rhyming is on the last 3 syllables of this word Gasatanisa, that is to say Tanisa. And finally, the last word of line number 4 is Satanisa. It also consists of 5 syllables, Satanisa, and the rhyming is on the last 3 syllables, that is to say Tanisa. So I repeat again that the rhyming in stanza number 2 is on the last 3 syllables of the last word in line, that is to say Tanisa, 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 and Tanisa. Now we'll see on how many letters the poet repeats, on how many letters of the last word in line the poet repeats. I repeat again that the last word of line number 2 is Tanisa. So here the poet repeats on all the letters of the last word as follows: T, A, N, E, S, and A. That is to say, the poet repeats on the last 6 letters of the last word. Here in line, the last word of line number 2 is, already mentioned before, it is Satanisa. It consists of 8 letters, and the poet repeats on the last 6 letters Tanisa, that is to say T, A, N, E, S, and A. The last word of line number 3 is Gasatanisa. The word Gasatanisa consists of 10 letters, and the repetition is on the last 6 letters of the word Gasatanisa, that is to say on the letters T, A, N, E, S, and A. And finally, the last word of line number 4 of stanza 2 is Satanisa. The word Satanisa consists of 10 letters, and the repetition is on the last 6 letters of this word. This is to say, on the letters T, A, N, E, S, and A. In conclusion, we can say that the poet repeats on the last 6 letters of the last word in stanza number 2, and also the structure of the 16 syllables in each line is according to the Bali Shairi. It is in a slow pace, therefore each line is broken into 4 segments of 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3 syllables, and the rhyming is on the last 3 syllables of the last word in each line. That is to say, Tanisa, 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 and Tanisa. Okay? So actually, the poet succeeded to combine all the characteristics that I mentioned in his in his masterpiece. This poem is a masterpiece, and we can read and enjoy this great poem. The poem is translated into 55 languages, and it is considered as one of the most genius poems that was created by mankind. Okay, thank you very much.